Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon from Venice. This is Giacomo, and welcome to this tour of mine. I'm already here in place in front of the Church of Madonna della Salute, Basilica of Madonna della Salute, and as you can see, very close to Piazza San Marco, which is on the other side of the Grand Canal. So I will be moving around the area, starting from here, the Basilica, and then I will bring you also in a very beautiful place that is just a couple of minutes from here, but I don't want to say much before starting. So welcome you all. Susan, hello. Kate, hello. Patrick, Sam, Maria. Welcome to this tour and welcome to Venice. It's not still cold. This morning it was below zero. I think a couple of degrees below zero. This morning, I mean, at about 7 o'clock. Now it should be something like 1 or 2 above zero. Hello, Chrissy, welcome. So the tour will start in about a minute. Yes, I was saying that yesterday I went to Mazzorbo. Today I'm doing this tour here. And before Christmas, so during this week, I also have another couple of tours planned. One on Friday at the area around the Church of Madonna dell'Orto, and another one it will be on Christmas Eve on the 24th at 7 o'clock, when I'll be going to the area. I called it the area of the former red light district of Venice. Yes, it was the area in which prostitutes were confined to live and work. So it's really an original, a peculiar area to visit. Hello, Sian. So it's now 3 o'clock. So the tour has started. Again, welcome. This is Giacomo from Venice. It's your guide, vehicle guide here in Venice. And I'm about to start a tour of the area around the Basilica della Salute, the Church of Madonna della Salute. I want just to remind a few things about Hego, especially for those who have joined the platform recently. You can take postcards that are snaps, photographs, pictures, whatever you want to call them. And during the tour, you just press the white button you have in the middle of your screen below. And those postcards, at the end of the tour, you can download them, store them, share them. Just do not forget to tag me, or just to remind my name that you took these snaps during the tour with Giacomo. Also, you can chat, and you can use the chat box, and you can ask me questions. Just do not forget that if I'm walking and talking, I may miss some of your questions. So if it is a busy moment for me, keep your question until the end, and I will happy to try to answer you. What else? Basta. So it's okay. You can also nothing else. No, I said everything I guess. So let me turn the camera and point it towards Piazza San Marco. Before showing you the Campo della Salute, I wanted to give you this. Hello, Kerry. I wanted to give you this view of the entrance to the Grand Canal, but I will show you the actual entrance later. For the moment, you can see the Campanile, St. Mark's Bell Tower, which is the highest structure here in Venice. It is more than 100 meters tall, with the angel on top of it. Okay, as you can see probably better now, on top of the tip there is a gilded angel, which is a wind wave, and with the angel on top, it is more than 100 meters tall, and again, it is the highest structure here in the city. So, but I will talk more about the Grand Canal later. And you see the row of beautiful palazzo that are on both sides of the canal. And this is the Campo della Salute, with the stairs that lead to the church, which unfortunately for the moment it's partially hidden behind those scaffoldings. There were more scaffoldings until a few months ago, or even this side of the church wasn't visible, but it is necessary maintenance that has to be done from time to time. So for the moment we can see the facade thanks to these photographs that were taken and assembled on the scaffolding. So, but let me talk you about the Campo della Salute. The Campo in Venice is a square. This is a typical Venetian word. We don't call them piazza like in other Italian cities, but Campo, the only piazza we have in Venice is Piazza San Marco. That's when we say let's go to the piazza, you can be mistaken, it's Piazza San Marco. The other squares, we call them Campo, and this is called Campo della Salute for obvious reasons, because there is the Church of La Salute. But this was not like that until the Basilica was built. So I'm talking of the mid-17th century. The Basilica the building of the Basilica started in 1631, but it lasted about 50 years. Before that, here it was an area, a peripheral area, even though it's very close to Piazza San Marco, but it's the final part of this district, and it was an area of warehouses. So here in the Campo there were a series of buildings that went up to the edge of the Grand Canal, and they were warehouses used to keep especially salt and spices, which were the goods that Venice traded. Sorry, they were the goods that Venice traded from the east. So precious goods kept here in the warehouses that sometimes you will see referred to as the salt warehouses. But it was not only salt, it was also spices. So the area was cleared, and the space, the area was cleared to make room for the Basilica. And the Basilica also has a reason for which it was built. And also the name Basilica Madonna della Salute refers to a pestilence. Yes, in 1630 there was a serious plague. It is calculated that about 1/3 of the population died of plague. It means about 45,000 people only in the city, and but more than 90,000 in the whole in the city and the islands of the lagoon. So this was 1630. So both the Doge and the Patriarch decided to set a procession in which people went and prayed the Madonna to protect them and the city from the plague. So the story goes that after a few weeks, the plague actually decreased. The number of people who died because of the plague decreased, and consequently, the Doge and the Patriarch made a vow they would have built a basilica as a thanksgiving to the Madonna. So that's why the church of Madonna della Salute was built, and it was chosen this area just because what I said before, because the area needed to be cleared. So many warehouses were not necessary anymore at the time. And again, I'm talking of mid-17th century. Salute in Italian means health, but it also means welfare. It also means safety, salvation. So it comes from the Latin salus, that meant all these things together. So it's not only health, salute. In modern Italian, we use salute to refer to health, but the word also included this other meaning. So you can address the Madonna della Salute not only for protection, health, but also for safety and salvation. The architect who won the competition was Baldassare Longhena, who was quite young at the time, and he designed an octagonal church. So something of the 8-sided plan can be seen. You see that it's not round, but that's one side, another side, the facade, and the same on the other side. And with 2 domes. There is a larger dome here over the hall, but there is a second dome over there, which is over the high altar. And 2 bell towers. From here we can see only one. Again, it took quite a long time. It took about 50 years to complete the church, and it was finished in 1681, that is 50 years later, after the pestilence. The pestilence lasted about 2 years in 1630 and 31. And now I'm trying to get inside. I always say try because it depends. Sometimes there are staff who don't want to use a video or a gimbal inside, so I will try. Okay, from here you can see that the hall has 8 sides, on top of which there is this balcony that goes around with these tall windows and the dome. I'm going to try also to get closer to the high altar, because I would like to show you the painting of the Madonna della Salute on the high altar. These are all side chapels with their altarpieces. But again, the one that is on the high altar is really interesting with its distinctive story. Okay. You see, it's a Baroque church, of course, and inside you can feel the movement, dynamism of Baroque. You see that there is the Madonna there, but you see that it's quite unusual. The painting style, unusual for. Yes, Karen, try to refresh because I have all green lights over here. You see that I was saying that Madonna is the painting is quite unusual for Italy because it looks like an icon, a Byzantine icon, and in fact, this is a Greek Orthodox icon taken from Crete. Crete was a possession of the Republic of Venice, and when the Venetians left from there, they took some, let's call them souvenirs, and one of these souvenirs was the icon of this Madonna. In Greek, it is called, the icon is, this type of Madonna is called Panagia Mesopantitissa. Panagia is Madonna. Mesopantitissa is a name that means something like in between this and that. So it can be both that Madonna acts as a mediator between people and the heaven, but also because this Madonna was celebrated exactly in between two major festivals, two major Greek Orthodox festivals. So Panagia Mesopantitissa was taken from Crete in 1669 when it was taken to Venice. The basilica was almost finished, and so it was decided to put the Madonna here on the altar of the newly completed church. So you see that in this area in front of the high altar, above this area in front of the high altar, there is the second dome, the smaller one. And you also see that on the side there are these two rounded parts. And again, this is a very Baroque church with curves. The interior, apart from the side chapel, the interior is quite simple. It's majestic, of course, but it is, you see, quite simple, quite little decoration. Also, Longhena used the teaching of Andrea Palladio by keeping the walls white and the structural elements like the columns gray. Do not forget, okay, if you are curious about the Panagia Mesopantitissa, the Madonna, the icon of the Madonna della Salute, you can take a snap here and you can read about it later. I don't want to. Okay, I also wanted to point your attention to the flooring. And you see that the flooring is fantastic. It's really a great work of a sort of trompe-l'oeil, but it's also a beautiful assembly of different type of marble, different color of marble and stone to make up this pattern in the center of the hall. Now you cannot get sorry for this. Sorry. Now it's closed the center because it is open only during the mass. Okay. So a final look at the high altar. And I'll go out from the other side so you can have a look also at these other side chapels. So it's really a magnificent church with magnificent architecture by Baldassare Longhena, dating back to the 1630. Okay, so again, for those who have just joined, we are inside the Church of Madonna della Salute. And in a moment I'll go out and we'll keep on touring around the area. The competition for building the basilica did not include the plan. I mean, did not include only the church, but also the arrangement here of the campo. And you see that the campo has this beautiful white pattern in Istrian stone, and also Longhena also designed this building left of the facade of the church that was completed much earlier than the basilica itself. This is the Patriarchal Seminary. Seminary is a sort of school where young people are trained to become a priest, and it's been a seminary until a few years ago. The problem was that there were not many young Italian, at least, that want to become a priest. So it was not necessary anymore to have a school here in Venice. And today it still belongs to the Patriarchy. Today it hosts a museum. You can read the name over there. It's Pinacoteca Manfrediniana. And you see opere d'arte, artworks of the Patriarchal Seminary. And it also hosts the University of Canonic Law. So there are students, older students than those that were here once, that come here to specialize in canonic law. And you see that stylistically, this building has many similar features to the church, which is attached, almost attached to the building. Okay, now let's go on. So I mentioned you before the warehouses. There is something left. It's this building just over here. So this is what is left of all these warehouses, the salt warehouses that used to be here. So they were demolished up to this point. This final part was left, and this was also the headquarters of the customs. It was the customs of the Republic of Venice, and after the Republic fell, it was also the customs from the Italian state until about like 30 years ago, or maybe a little bit more, until the late 80s. It was the headquarters of the customs. So it was the customs house here in Venice, the main customs house here in Venice. After that, the customs was moved. The building was left empty. But in the 90s, the municipality decided to convert it into a museum, and there was a sort of, rather than a competition, two institutions were asked to take over. One was the Peggy Guggenheim Museum that has already its building here in Venice, and the other was the Pinault Foundation. Pinault is a French art collector, and it was him to win this sort of competition. And today, the building here is a museum. It's called Museo Punta della Dogana, but now it's closed. It mainly hosts exhibitions, and the exhibitions usually go from spring, March, April until late autumn, late like November, or the last one closed a couple of weeks ago. So it was François Pinault who was able to get this building, and the building was restored by Tadao Ando, the Japanese architect, and the interior are really beautiful. From outside, of course, it was left as it was before. Again, the Pinault Foundation. François Pinault is the French art collector who was able to get this building to make it a new museum for his collection. Now I'm going to the tip of this area. Okay, there's a group of children here screaming. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to the tip of this area. This is really the end, or the beginning, as you prefer, of the district of Dorsoduro. Venice is divided into 6 districts, 3 on this side of the canal and 3 on the other side. Dorsoduro is the largest among the 3 of this side of the canal, and it's really a tip. It's really a triangle that ends just over here. In fact, also the building of the customs, if you look it from above, is a triangle. Okay, from here you can't say much, but it's much larger at the entrance over there, and it's much thinner over here. Okay, Mark is asking, okay, the water, it's not very deep. There are some points. Sorry for the cough. Well, it's really cold, and talking lets cold air into my throat, and so sometimes I need to cough. Sorry for that. Okay, I was saying that sometimes the water can be 7 meters deep, but it is very rare. Otherwise, it's really shallow. Of course, the Grand Canal is a bit deeper than that, but out in the lagoon, especially here in this area that we call Bacino di San Marco, St. Mark's Pool, is the we can find the deeper parts of the lagoon. Okay, so you see that it's a tip. Here the area of Dorso Duro ends or begins, again, as you prefer. And this is the actual beginning of the Grand Canal. And we are even closer to Piazza San Marco, which is just over there. From here we can see not only the bell tower, but also the Doge's Palace over there. Let me zoom in for a moment. Okay, so the bell tower, the Doge's Palace with some scaffolding in front of it, but you can see most of the facade. And also we can see these two white buildings on the left. The shorter, the one with 2 floors and 3 arches per floor, is the side of the library, St. Mark's Library, Libreria Marciana, and the building on the left, the larger and taller building, used to be the Mint of the Republic of Venice. So that's why it's very heavy and strong. Today it's also part of the library. And we can also see some of the domes of the Basilica of San Marco, 3 of the 5 domes. While those buildings over there, this reddish, brownish building, that one is the back of the Procuratie Nuove, which is one of the 2 sides, longer side of Piazza San Marco. These smaller canals are dredged from time to time, not as often as it should be necessary, but they are, because of course the side canals, the smaller ones, are shallower, so, and to allow boats to go around, they need to be dredged from time to time, because the bottom of the lagoon and of course of the canal is very muddy. Grand Canal is not necessary like the rest of the wider lagoon. Okay, let's have a look at I'm now just on the tip. Okay, I have to pay attention not to fall into the water. But again, you see on the left, it's the Piazza San Marco and all the area of Castello, which is the second largest district of Venice. At the bottom, you can see a park. You can see trees over there. That's the park of Giardini, where also La Biennale is. And here on the right is the island of San Giorgio, with the church designed by Andrea Palladio. And moving to the right, you can hardly see, but there is a canal over there. So where the trees are, it's San Giorgio, but starting from that white building on is the island of Giudecca. Sorry. And island of Giudecca is the island south of Venice. It's a long one, but I will show it to you later. Meanwhile, I would like to show you also this smaller side of the customs house. told you that it's a triangular building, so this side is much narrower than the other one. On top of this turret, yeah, there is a sculpture, two atlases, two giants that hold support a gilded globe, and on top of the globe is the statue of Fortune. Fortune that moves with the wind. Of course, these statues, like the angel on top of the Campanile di San Marco, are wooden. Yes, they are made of wood and then clad with some light metal, probably bronze, that then is gilded. Sorry, just a second. Okay, it's really cold. My finger don't respond very well. Sorry for that. Okay. Now, let's go along this side of the former customs house. And from here, a beautiful promenade begins. It's south. It's the south side. You can see that west is over there. And this is a beautiful promenade because it's really pleasant to walk. It's sunny. So many people, also, of course, many locals, when it's a beautiful day, they come here to take a stroll, a pleasant stroll along this. It's about more than 3 kilometers long, so you can start here, for example, and arrive to the western side near the harbor, or the opposite. Okay, before showing you along the way here a little bit, I would like to show something else that goes quite unnoticed, and it's this small hut, this wooden hut, and which is really important. There are a few scattered around, both in the city and around the lagoon. Inside these huts, there are the instruments that continuously measure the tide. So this is so this hut is part of a network that was established in 1923. Yes, to have the continuous control of the tide. These measurements are necessary, of course, to know the measurement, but also to make forecast. The municipality has a center that works 24 hours, especially when high tides are forecast, to control and make and issue forecast bulletins. So again, even though it's not very noticeable, again, it's very important, and the data are sent to the main center, which is in a building near the Rialto Bridge. Okay. So again, I'm going with you another 5 minutes to show you the promenade here, the embankment called Zattere, which in English it means rafts. And you see that now it's a period in which we don't have many visitors. It's also cold, so it's not very popular. Not many people over here. Okay, we have some geese, I guess. Yes, those are geese. not unusual view. Yes, there are from time to time. Okay, sorry for the digression, but it's interesting to see that these birds fly over here to migrate. Okay, Sam is asking, are the longboats for tourists? You mean, if you mean this in particular, can you read the name? This company, Ali Laguna, provides links with the airport by boat. So it's public transportation. It's not the company that manages the network of transportation in Venice. So it's one that was established a few years ago to connect the city, the various parts of the city, with the airport by boat. That's why it's called Ali Laguna. Ali means wings. Laguna is lagoon, so it's like the lagoon connected with the airport, with the wings of the planes at the airport. So they moor their boats here when they don't need so many boats. Okay, let me take you to the bridge you see at the bottom. Yes, you can, Sam. And it depends on what part of the city you are, because if you are near the car terminal, near the railway station, a bus is more convenient. But otherwise, in other parts, it's much more convenient, the boat, to for example, sometimes if I don't want to go to Piazzale Roma to take the bus to the airport, I take the boat, and in about 35-40 minutes I get to the airport. No hassles. It's a little bit more expensive than the bus, but really more convenient. Okay, so I wanted to reach the top of this bridge because from here I can show you the island of Giudecca, and again offer you another view over this part of the Giudecca Canal. Giudecca Canal is this canal that in between Venice, the actual city, and the Giudecca Island. The church over there is called the Church of Zitelle, which was part of a complex with a nunnery. And you see, it's a long island that also used to be, until not many years ago, the industrial area of Venice. There were many factories over there that unfortunately closed one after another because, as you may know, Venice is suffering a decrease in population, a serious decrease in population, and consequently also the closure of many activities, many. You mean, so Bev, are you talking about those pilings? This one? They mark the shallow water. So it means that this side you shouldn't go by boat because it's shallow. And also on the other side they mark also the sort of paths to go to the mooring docks over here. But if you see them in the open lagoon, not here, they usually marks the deeper canals and the safer part that where boats can go to avoid the shallows. Okay. Oh, thank you, Anita. Thank you very much. So I would like to finish here. You see on the other side there is this large church. That's another beautiful church designed by Andrea Palladio. It's the Church of the Redentore, the Redeemer. And that was, it has a similar story to the Church of La Salute because it was built when there was the first serious plague in Venice in 1575. And also in that case, the Republic made a vow, and yes, a vow to the Savior, to Christ, and in Thanksgiving, the Church of Redentore, the Church of the Redeemer, was built. So a similar story to the Madonna della Salute. Okay, that's true. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. You're also having a look at the setting sun. The sun is going to set in about, what time is it now? In about an hour, I guess. And again, you see that this side is very quiet, especially at this time of the year. Quiet, but also the rest of the year is always a beautiful place to have a walk. And going on going on that way, there are more cafes. There is also a very famous and good ice cream to have, the Nico. It's called the Nico. Anyway, so thank you very much. Time to close now the tour. Thank you very much for